The Department of Education just made radical changes to Title IX. Title IX was originally established in 1972 to protect women and men from discrimination and harassment based on sex at K-12 schools and federally funded colleges. You might be familiar with the Title IX law as the law that allowed for women's sports to start in schools. While Title IX should protect women and girls from having to compete against men who call themselves women in sport, the new revisions don't touch this contention. And why do you think they left this out if they cared so much about transgender rights? Maybe it's because an election is coming up and Biden doesn't want to see his poll numbers plummet through the floor any more than they already are. It does, however, completely upend the point of Title IX by allowing personal identification to trump objective reality. Let me explain. The new provisions under the law include discrimination against LGBTQIA+ individuals.
Gender balanced, pronoun neutral.
While this sounds innocuous, this has devastating effects for women in the US because, according to NPR, under the new interpretation, it could be a violation of Title IX if schools, for example, refuse to use the pronouns that correspond with the student's gender identity. Authoritarian much?
Now follow my orders!
So if I don't want to call a Bradina a she because she is actually a man with a miniskirt at my college, I could end up being investigated by the Office for Civil Rights.
Ha! That's it! Hold it right there! Pronoun trouble.
The unofficial final ruling from the Department of Education defines creating a hostile environment with vague wording that could allow for serious manipulation. Whether unwelcome sex-based conduct has created a hostile environment is determined based on the totality of the circumstances. The final regulation thus calls for a recipient to consider the ages, roles, and other relevant characteristics of the parties involved, including whether they are students or employees, in making the determination. Based on the specific circumstances into which a particular incident arises, a single serious incident, even if not pervasive, may be so severe as to create a hostile environment. Based on the specific circumstance in which occurs, pervasive conduct, even if no single occurrence is taken in isolation, is severe, may likewise create a hostile environment. Well, that was a lot. This wishy-washy language, along with the inclusion of gender-based discrimination, would allow a man who thinks he is a woman to claim a real woman is creating a hostile environment. This could potentially be for not wanting to use his pronouns or sharing a woman's space, such as a restroom with him. The education secretary said, "The new rule makes crystal clear that everyone can access schools that are safe, welcoming, and that respect their rights." Which sounds nice, but no one has a right to be in a welcoming environment. Partially because what I may find welcoming, you may find hostile.
Pick me. Choose me. Love me.
Listen, I'm all for being kind to people you disagree with, but niceties should not be required and you should never be forced to participate in any speech. We are stumbling into 1984 with this new Title IX ruling. Jordan Peterson rebelled against this same kind of ruling in Canadian universities almost 10 years ago, and it has only gotten worse since then. We should stop this now. But that's what I think. What do you think? Another taxpayer-funded institution is getting pushback for its left-wing agenda. Check out Caroline's video on NPR here.